Alright, timestamp May 20th, 2025. A little bit after, I can actually look at the stovetop and there's a clock on this one. You never got the clock on ours at George to all the power fluctuations in the neighborhood. We'd set it and a day later it's like, nope. 6:13 a.m. How precise. Today's coffee is Starbucks medium breakfast blend. So in about 4 hours. Oh, health check. I'm still dealing with the hemp, whatever this is. It's a little better, but bronchial meh. Still dealing with some anxiety here and there too, you know. Mom passing, court with dad, you know, stuff like that. Nothing big. So, Acorn says hi. Shush. About four. It's like I got a baby husky. Oi! Enough. Kids. So in about 4 hours, got the final hearing. Got a lot of ambient noise here. I apologize for that. I'm running the dishwasher, the washer, the dryer, trying to get stuff done because we've got a... Whether Dad is or isn't coming home, which I think isn't coming home is probably best for honestly everyone. Because, again, I'm trying to protect the world from my dad and my dad from the world. I have to act on my orders, if you will. And the last word that I've gotten from Pasco County, from DCF, all the King's horses, is I've got to get the lanai ceiling taken care of because that is a health safety hazard, because if that falls, it'll, you know, crush anyone that's under it. In Christian love. And the bed bugs are real. I think I went over that already. I've got a couple new interesting bites today. I'm not sure where they came from, but I have a clue. Some of Gru's pets are thriving here. So I have to act on the idea of, if my dad were to come home, I still have things that I have to fix here. Which he should not come home. Basically got my takeaway, because I've gotten like letters from the court letting me know what findings were. As I knock the coffee pot onto the floor, that'll work well. Out of the 6 professionals now that have basically been cited in the findings, 5 out of 6 of them have basically said he needs to be in a long-term 24/7 memory care unit home. Number 6, which is the medical doctor in this last batch, has said that that is one option. The other option would be for him to be at home with 24/7 watching. But I think that doc is not really taking into account the windmill aspect of him being, my dad being at home, in the respect of, as long as he's here, so is the burglar, and the persecutorial environment in which my dad's brain lives will persist. And as such, any caregiver that comes here, which Pasco County has already said they will not because of bed bugs. My burrito's done. Because of the bed bugs, Pasco County has said no one's going in that building. So until I can get the spraying done, which we've got to get all the fabric up. It's very involved. Look up what you need to get done to get professional spraying done. And it's all stuff that my dad could not be here during because he would undo the stuff because of the dementia, or he would just shoot someone in the back of the head because they're bagging up clothing. They're obviously stealing his towels or whatever his brain would invent at the moment. But the other situation is, my dad brandished a screwdriver at my wife a month ago, what have you. How do you make an incredibly cluttered, hoarding house free and clear of weapons of opportunity, of improvised weapons? And the answer is you don't. So the family member, the nurse, whoever is coming over here to take care of him in this hypothetical scenario, is going to get bashed in the head with a frying pan, or stabbed in the neck John Wick style with a pencil. And I'm not saying it will happen. I'm not saying my dad is a dangerous killer. But with the dementia, he could be. He absolutely could be. These are real practical could-be's that I would be doing a disservice in not saying, hey, this shouldn't happen. You know what I mean? I feel like I've been saying it for 2 years. There was an issue here, and now the issue has gotten much worse. I would not be doing my due diligence if I did not say, hey, that's a really bad idea. Because with my dad's brain breaking, he could kill someone. Because he's going to have a delusion, a hallucination, something like that. And all it takes is 3 seconds. 3 seconds of absolute madness and somebody's dead. So, it's a pretty up subject, right? Very cheery. There's all kinds of Tony Robbins action going on there. If you believe that your dad can be a murderer, then you could make it happen. And he wouldn't even remember doing it. Or if he did, he'd ask himself, why did I do that? Because I've seen him do that before in the past, 6 months. He'll do something absolutely apeshit crazy, and then, why did I do that? And we're all wondering the same question. Don't know, Dad, why'd you do that? I don't know what came over me. Okay, cool. Alright, well, nobody got hurt this time, that's good. But the thing is, with dementia, there's kind of a regression. It's almost like being drunk to a degree, too. You lose your inhibitions. So, what's the worst that could happen? You really don't want the answer to that question. Now, my dad's a brilliant engineer, so if he's really motivated, has the time, and keeps his focus, he could make something that would be incredibly dangerous. The reason he limps right now, he's got arthritis in his knees, but his right knee is incredibly aggravated because, this is 2 years ago, he dug a tiger trap in the backyard to catch the burglar. The next morning, he had forgotten he had done it, and he tested the tiger trap, and it worked great. It worked to the capacity that it could, in a long-term sense, damage the burglar's knee. If you follow. So, yeah. The hearing is in about 4 hours. I know what the right answer is. I know what the right answer is. And it sucks. But it doesn't make it not the right answer. You know what I mean? I'm hoping the judge, and I think I'm positive about this. You know what I mean? All reason points to this is the correct answer. And it's the same judge that heard the case a month ago now. So I have a feeling, he's going to look at the situation and go, yeah, okay, just keep going. The only worry that I have is I've got my dad in temporary housing right now, waiting for a VA placement. And in the court decision, it was something about, you can't make any long-term medical decisions for your dad. But this was more reactionary because my mom died, and that immediately put my dad in a suicide risk situation. I talked to my dad last night, actually, and he said, are you guys at the house? I said, well, I am. I'm trying to clean up and get rid of your bedbug situation. And he said, whatever, that's fine. You win. You can keep the house. I just want my truck and my tools, and I'll just find a place out in the country, and like a farm. I'll buy a small farm or a small house, and I can get a job, and I can just start over. But I want to be out in the country. I want horses. I love horses, and it's like your white truck, or you want to buy a new truck and you can't drive. You're not allowed to drive. It's just, he's very unaware of a lot of the reality spinning around him. And he was trying to reason, bargain with me. He's like, would you agree to that? Is that a pretty good deal? I mean, you get the house out of it, and it's like, and everybody's telling me that I need to basically yes and to him. I need to treat him like another player in an improv sketch. Acorn moving around. It's like, but there's a shark in the water hitting my leg. What's up with that? So, I'm like, sure, Pop, let me think about it. That sounds pretty good, but let me think about it. A couple times I snuck in the idea of, well, we're kind of, in the hands of the court right now. We've got to do what they say we've got to do. And, he wasn't really hearing that. It was kind of okay, well, that's great. So, you think this is a fair deal, right? I mean, we could make this work. And it's like, sure, Pop. Sure. Right now I'm just trying to take care of the house. He's like, I'd like to at least visit Mom's headstone. I'm like, well, I'm trying to work this out. She's getting buried later this week. I've worked all that out. And he's like, well, who took care of this? I'm like, I did. And I'm thinking to myself, because someone had to. You know what I mean? Because they had started the procedure, getting everything taken care of and paid for back in 2023. Apparently they had gone for about 6 months of payments, and then they canceled and got a refund. So, bright side, I have kind of a blueprint of sorts based on what they had initially set up. I know what they wanted to be done because that's what they had started to purchase. But no, I mean, I'm using their account because it's their expenditure and they've got, the money in there to do it. So it was kind of okay, yeah, this is what they wanted because this is what they started to set up, so I'm going to pay for this, and we'll do this, and, And Ron, with the soldier groups, has been very helpful. Because I'm out of my depth. I've never done this before, obviously. Yeah, the snot is real. Just trying to get a happy ending for everybody. It's fair, keeps everybody safe. And I know what I'm looking at answer-wise is the right answer. It's just, it's the happy-ish ending for most of the players. This place is a mess. This is a 2-year job. We barely scratched the surface. And it looks like we barely scratched the surface. We got boxes and debris everywhere. quite a week. A few hours I might become my dad's permanent guardian, which is still very strange. And a few days after that, putting my mom in the ground. It's one for the books, right? Health-wise, I feel meh, because still have remains of chest cold, which I should be able to take my liquid here pretty soon. Definitely still have some anxiety going on, because did I just tell you what this week was looking like? Yeah. The money we saved is holding up pretty good, so we're stable financially. That's good. We don't have to start eating cats anytime soon. It was always a joke with my mom, because anytime I talked to her on the phone, anytime, even if she was pissed off at us or something, one of the first things she would say / ask is, do you have food? And this is years ago. Was in a particularly crass mood, and I think I had already said, we're fine, we got food, and then like 3 sentences later, do you have food? And maybe this is a normal, like, silent generation concern question. I don't know. I've only got my parents, to as a reference, but this became a joke around our household, because I said, well, actually the pantry's looking kind of lean, but the bright side is, I think at the time we had like 8 cats. I'm like, we've got 8 cats, and a couple of them are really plumping up well. We had a black cat named Coco who was he was a 20-pounder, and he got pudgy here and there. It's like, Coco's looking really good. Really good. And they say that fat is flavor. So I think, seasoned right, this guy's a winner. And my mom was just like, oh, just stop. Stop it. It's like, okay, well, you asked the 3rd time, so I'm going to give you a stupid answer. But yeah, it became a thing around the house of not eating cats yet. Despite the fact that we love Asian cuisine around here, not eating cats yet. It's funny because it's true. No, I missed the opportunity to do a Blair Witch scene there. I apologize. They're following us. This one day I was at work. To me, this was really funny. To my boss, it was really funny. To other people, it might not be funny. If this offends you, maybe therapy. I don't know. Maybe I need therapy. Maybe. But, so go-backs are a thing in retail. Because people, and if you do this, stop. It's actually not cool. It's really annoying. People will pick up something, consider buying it, or just start looking at it, carry it around the store, and then drop it off someplace that it did not come from. So you wind up having to, and every store calls it something different, recover, rezone, whatever. You go through your department and you pull the stuff out that doesn't belong there. On one particular occasion, I found a couple of books in the pet department, and one of them was about dog training, and the one next to it was a Korean cookbook. And I took a picture of that with my phone, and I sent it to my boss with like a note, We need to keep a careful eye on our clientele, I think. And I'm just gonna. He thought it was funny. But I'm just gonna leave it there. You can just kind of play with that. My only curiosity on that was, did the person realize the joke that they had set up there? You know what I mean? Was it an accident, or were they like, this is going to be funny? It's like I was straightening up the books, the learning books, the educational books at the tree one day. And straightening up a department in general. And I kept finding an educational book. It was one of those same or different. You know, and it's the whole trying to see what's different from this picture to this picture, you know. And I kept finding this exact book in the wild. We had, 20 copies of it, and 10 of it were not on the rack. I found them spread throughout the store. And for the book section, that section, we had like 12 facings. And I couldn't resist because I've got this stack of them. And I'm just like, this is so stupid. You know what I mean? Why is this particular book the Easter egg? What made this book the book that people wanted to drag everywhere throughout the store? Was it one person just depositing it in various locations? I don't even know. But I went ahead and put it as the front book in each placing in the rack, just because I thought it was funny. You either get it or you don't. That's okay. Yeah, I'm doing good. So, hearing with my dad in about 4 hours. Did the electronic fingerprinting thing yesterday, because they got to do fingerprinting in the background check to make sure that I'm not some kind of criminal, which I'm not. I mean, spoiler, but as far as I know, I've got everything done that the court requested of me. Never in a million, man. Never in a million. Yeah, it's going to be quite a week. It's going to be quite a week. I'll look at this 2 and 2. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and sign off here. I'm going to take a shower here in a few minutes just to try and refresh, be ready, kind of work business mode for the hearing. Might help with the stuffiness, the heat, the pressure. Gotta take my liquid medicine. And keep plodding along on some of the various things that are going to occupy me for the next month, 2 months, 6 months, years. Let's see what happens. Make it a great day.